All right, lads, what's up? Listen, it's unfortunately time for another one of those unpopular opinion videos. People like myself, and obviously all the well-known people in the media, all the guys at Spiked, which is a great website if anyone hasn't read it. They do a lot of work on mainstream media in the UK. Brendan O'Neill and Fraser Myers and a few others have all been on debating all of the authoritarian sort of autocrats that run the UK, wankers in the House of Lords, and the unelected bureaucrats that just stomp all over anybody's rights like a bunch of absolute wank stains. The hate crime laws have been up for debate for a long time. I'm not going to bore anyone by going over the dull as fuck, constantly retread ground that we've had with regards to, like, you know, Count Dankler and his Nazi pug, Tom Daley, people getting arrested for taking the piss out of him on Twitter and said, "Ha, you didn't get a medal." And the next thing, the coppers turn up around the bloke's house. We've even had in England, if anyone hasn't heard about it, this absolute corker. And I'm convinced people that are reading this abroad or listening to this abroad must think I'm taking the piss. But this is entirely serious. The Telegraph's a serious publication. And there was a bloke investigated by the police because he retweeted a transgender limerick. Not a transgender limerick, that's a bit of a silly headline. The limerick itself isn't post-op. But it says a doctor from Humberside has been investigated from police over a limerick he posted on Twitter after an officer claimed it constituted a hate incident against transgender people. It says Harry Miller from Lincoln was contacted on Wednesday by a community cohesion officer. That sounds very fucking Stalin-esque, doesn't it? Following a complaint that had been made about the plant and the machinery dealer's social media posts. Citing 30 potentially offensive tweets, the PC singled out a limerick Mr. Biller had retweeted, which questioned whether transgender women are biological women. Questioned it. It includes the lines, "Your breasts are made of silicone, your vagina goes nowhere." Well, it is basically just a fucking axe wound, isn't it? Because even though no crime was committed, sharing the limerick online was recorded as a hate incident. These are misleading figures, you see. Like when they said, "Oh, voting for Brexit made everyone fucking go out and commit hate crimes," which is the maddest shit ever. Like, everyone with a fucking IQ past 60 knows that that's total bullshit. Like, the only people that commit hate crimes are fucking idiots. Sensible people don't do it, by definition. And the idea that, like, you know, thuggish, tattooed chavs are sitting at home reading the Times, and then they go, "Oh, I say, chaps, we appear to have had a democratic mandate to leave the UK. Let's go and stab an Indian." Doesn't fucking make any sense. It's ridiculous. The idea that hate crimes suddenly went up when thick shit for brains thugs don't even read the fucking news really does take the fucking biscuit. Again, it's obvious. Hooligans like getting pissed and fighting. They don't go, let's wait until a high-ranking member of parliament says we should leave the European Union. Then let's go and kill some jibbos. Doesn't happen. And this is how they get the figures, because a fucking hate incident can be anything. They log them on a whim, at the drop of a hat, and then they say, "Oh, look at that, fucking hate crimes have gone up," when anyone with a brain knows it's not happening. Anyway, it says PC Mansour Gould turned up round Mr. Miller's house and said, "I've been on a course, and what you need to understand is that you can have a fetus with a female brain that grows male body parts," and that's what a transgender person is. Mr. Harry said, "I didn't write it," and they said, "Oh yeah, but you liked it and promoted it." I asked why he was wasting his time on a non-crime. He said, "It's not a crime, but it will be recorded as a hate incident." So, I mean, there you go. These figures, made up on the fucking spot. You can make damn lies and statistics, right? You can make anything happen with statistics like that. Some random copper just goes, "Oh yeah, hate incident that." No crime, no one reported it to the police, no one got arrested. But there you go, hate crime's gone up, it's spiked. It's fucking bullshit. Apparently, Mr. Miller questioned why the complainant had been described as a victim if no crime had been committed, and the officer said, "We need to check your thinking." It really is beyond a joke. And this is the unpopular opinion I wanted to spell out. Most people in 2019, even right-wing conservatives, they've come a long way on this type of stuff. They're socially liberal. Most people don't care what private individuals get up to in their own lives. The vast majority, especially in Britain, which is a lot less dogmatic when it comes to religion, as the Christian conservatives are in the United States, to the point where most people don't fucking care. The debate seems to be around, we shouldn't be allowing it for children, and I think everyone can agree you should at least be an adult before you go through life-altering surgeries. But the average person doesn't give a fuck what you get up to in your own life. They just want to be left alone and not pestered by the fucking left-wing Gestapo. And we've talked about this, people like me, we've wrote about it for years, and all the big guys, the important sort of libertarian types in the media, have been discussing it for ages, hence the spiked article about hate crime laws back in 2018. So October last year, people were writing about it saying expanding them is only going to make matters worse. It reminded me of this story, same month, when they were saying that hostility to men and elderly people could become hate crimes. The whole point of a hate crime was to make sure you got tougher sentences for doing needless, sort of motiveless crimes against people that were vulnerable. If you just expand it to include absolutely everyone, what the fuck is the point of it? Why don't we just send everyone to jail forever? It's supposed to be a niche thing. Like, the hate crime should be, like 0.1% of all the violent crime. If you're going to make hate crime, look, as I've said, hate crimes are offences motivated by prejudice against someone's disability, race, religion, sexual orientation and transgender identity. That's a fucking lot of shit. If you're now going to put that out to men and the elderly, everything is a hate crime. Everything. Ageism, gender, fucking... So if it's against the very old, the very young, the male, the female and the everything else, who the fuck isn't a victim of a hate crime? Every one of us could do it. Someone calls you a cunt when you're walking down the street. Oh yeah, hate crime. Why? I'm a man. Tick. And I'm old. Tick. Fucking evil. Doesn't make any sense. Again, Stella Creasy, who I whinged about before. She's a fucking lunatic. And these people are just like they are the modern Spanish Inquisition. Crimes against social justice. The reason I'm talking about it now and bringing it all up is for this one, right? So, they've talked non-stop for the last 2 days because there was a bit of racial abuse, apparently, at the football game yesterday. Tottenham say investigations proved inconclusive. You get arrested for name-calling, is essentially what I'm getting at. No one's excusing racist behaviour. You're a fucking thug and a wanker if you're going to just slag people off for no reason like that. But ejecting someone from a football ground's one thing. Locking people up for crimes, for simply being a cunt, shouldn't be something we encourage. No one should be encouraging being a fucking dick to people for no reason and going into a fucking sporting event and being an absolute prick. But you can't lock people up for being rude, which is essentially what it is. If you're going to lock people up for being rude, then why stop at that? Why stop at racist abuse? And the last story, which I've just linked, is the proof that we need that it's not going to stop there. If they start expanding it so you can be arrested, prosecuted and jailed, not just, they can expel them from the football grounds, I'm fine with that, because that's a private place, it's a business, and if they want to throw racist wankers out, they're fucking allowed to, and shit, I even encourage it. But when you want to start locking people up, sending them to court and then jailing them for being a twat, it seems to me to be a bit of a case of overreach. It won't stop there. And then, lo and behold, just about to make a video whinging about this shit, and I just typed in hate crimes BBC to see a few more incidents, and look at this bad boy. 19th of December, so what? 4 days ago. 15 years in Iowa jail for burning a pride flag. Adolfo Martinez. That's an unfortunate name, isn't it? Like Hitler with an O on it. Mexican Hitler. Adolfo Martinez admitted to his crimes in a jailhouse interview. He said a US judge has handed down a sentence of at least 15 years to a man who stole an LGBT pride flag from a church and burned it outside a strip club. Adolfo Martinez admitted to the media he took the flag due to his animosity towards homosexuals. He was found guilty and sentenced for hate crime harassment, reckless use of fire, and being a habitual offender. Fucking reckless use of fire. Like he had a flame tank off Command & Conquer. A fucking Molotov cocktail. He said the crime spree began at Dangerous Curves, a strip club. They called because he was making threats, and when they arrived he'd been kicked out by bar staff. After leaving the club, he went to a church, pulled down the pride flag, then returned to the strip club where he used like the flu to burn the flag in the street. He also threatened to burn down the bar. Alright, so there's a bit of criminality going on there. Arrested by media and in jail interview said he was guilty as charged. It's an honour to do it, it's a blessing from the Lord because he hates homosexuality, right? What does a normal human think the sentence should be for a bloke getting pissed up at a strip club, being a bit of a prick, and then getting threw out by the bar staff? So then you fuck off to a church, pull the gay pride flag down, and then burn the flag in the street whilst being a cunt and saying, I'm going to burn the bar down as well. There was no property damage except for the $5 flag. I'd probably give the guy like 3 years, right? I don't know what the career criminal shit was about. Maybe he's a bit of a prick. But the point is, how many times have libertarian types talked about the ability and the right in a civilised country to burn a flag? These Antifa twats are burning flags all the time. Think those dickheads are going to jail? Ridiculous that you can go to prison for 15 years for burning a flag. Just look at that headline. That should be a headline that alarms any freedom-loving American. Even if you're gay, you could be a raving homo. That should fucking worry you. Because no man deserves to go to jail just because he's a bit of a dick. And if you're not going to jail people for burning US flags or the thin blue line flag or the fucking British flag or anything, and you shouldn't jail those people, it's their right to protest. What are we doing jailing people for fucking burning a pride flag? It's the start of a slippery slope. I don't know where it's going to fucking lead. I tell you what, I don't know if I can go food shopping in fucking England.